Good morning, everyone. It is our last moment in San Diego. We are just leaving right now. We're going to go grab some coffee actually at the car meetup that we did last week. So the Carlsbad Cars and Coffee. And there we will program our very, very long return trip home. Let's go. We just popped over to get some coffee on our way to start our trip back to Denver. It's pretty sad, but we're about to do it. We have a long way to go. We have a long way to go just today. Tonight we have to be in Beaver,
Utah. It's over 1,000 miles to Denver, so we're gonna stop in Beaver, Utah. And one of the concerns going through Vegas and Barstow, that area, it's supposed to be like close to 120 degrees, so that's going to be interesting. So what do you say?
Glad we have iced coffee. Let's go. Let's get some coffee.
Okay, as I mentioned in our previous video, we did not have charging where we were staying, so we are starting out at 81% charge. I would prefer to start out at 100, but 81% is great. And we're not going to program all the way back to Denver. We're going to go to Beaver, Utah. There we go, 443 miles straight, 538 driving. And we're going to hit go and let it add the charging stops.
Obey traffic laws, be alert, and use voice commands while driving.
So our first stop is 122 miles. It's saying charge back up to 56%. So what I'm going to do on this trip is we're going to probably go there, charge higher than 56%, and then recalculate again and again. And we're going to do that. These will probably change. And the reason I'm doing that mostly is because we're going across the desert. It's going to be high temperature, and the less I have to charge across the desert, the better. So I'd rather charge a lot here, and then the other stops hopefully not charge as much. So anyways, it says first one we'll need to charge to 56%, and then that's in 122 miles, and it says 123 over here. And we have 208 miles of range, so should be no big deal. Who's ready to go?
Let's go.
Starting at 74, 28%. We're going to go to 80 here. 124. That might be all it has because it's a 150, which is fine. We got a long way to go. So we're already up 31. We pulled in at 28% with about 74 miles of range or something like that. Let's go. I forgot to reset the trip for like first 10 minutes, 10 miles of the drive. So our first segment was probably like 118 miles, but we averaged 2.6 miles per kilowatt hour. That was pretty much, of course, 100% freeway, pretty much at 70 miles per hour or above. And we had to climb up and over a 4,000 foot mountain pass from basically sea level. So That's this segment. I did not reset the trip in San Diego as well. So this is like, since we left Denver, we've done 1,477 miles, and we've been averaging 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour, which is exactly what we need to get 270 miles range. So far so good. We're going to charge to 80% because we're getting ready to hit the desert. And if the next charging stop is shorter, that would be great, because it's supposed to be 120 at the next charging stop.
And it's already 101. I know. Let's go into Walmart.
Yeah.
Looky here. We have charging right by the handicap parking. That is super cool. That is super cool. Electric charging only, van accessible. So that's a little conflicting. Not sure about that, but that is super cool. There's more space here. There's definitely wheelchair access, and it's super accessible right to the front door. I've never seen this anywhere before, but I think this is really, really cool. So it's a van accessible parking is the EV charging as well. Cool job, guys. Nice. All right, let's go see Lucifer. So then here's where Lucifer is. Get a nice charge on, and this whole other charging section with that handicap accessible one over there. How cool is that? Awesome. Let's see what Patrick's doing. We're being creepy. Let's see how this is going. What's up here? 72%, that's crazy. $16.77, 41 kilowatt hours delivered. It's only been 24 minutes. That's awesome. Cool. Almost done and almost ready to go. And it's pretty pleasant here, to be honest. Not crazy, 100 degrees.
One of the new tools I have for this trip is using Torque Pro, which is an app that you run on your phone if you have an ODB2 connector plugged into the car. So we're currently charging, and I can see it has the output, or the flow, is 80.5 kilowatts going into the car, and we're at 73.1% state of charge. It says the external temperature is 127 degrees. I thought this one was high voltage battery temperature, but it's saying it's negative 59, so that's not correct. And this, I think, is the charger DC coupler temperature or something like that, is what it said. But I noticed that's staying consistent with external temperature, so I might have to play around and see what some of these mean and which ones I want to add, and there's other ones that I could add as well. But just got this set up last night, and it's something I wanted to monitor, especially the external temperature, because it's 101 degrees or something like that now. Is that what you said?
Mm-mm.
And it's showing it's 127 degrees for the car for the charging parts. So we're going to monitor that when we get up to 120 degrees or so at our next charging stop. But as you can see, we're at 74.8. We're going up to 80%. It's sort of neat, and it just goes to show, like, we could have a lot of good info being displayed on the car. It knows what's coming in, and hopefully Ford will update so that we get these numbers on the display and I won't have to have something like this. But 81 kilowatts still at 75.2%. All right, so we hit 80%. It dropped to 14 kilowatts. Let's hit return. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hit stop. We got 49 kilowatt hours, 31 minutes from 28 to 80%. So it wants us to unplug. All right, updating. We got to hop back in the car. It feels really hot out here right now. and it can't give me the exact price now, but I'm still using my free charging, and I can calculate 49 times 31 cents is what it would cost you. I'm still on my free. I just used another 49 kilowatt hours. Let's go plan our next segment. Before I forget, look, this is something new. It's telling me state of charge, how long I charge, and I added 145 miles. Did not update the cost because didn't have communication. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and reset this one. All right, that one got reset. Now we're going to reroute again to Beaver because I wanted to update where we need to charge. Previously it said I believe that we needed to charge in Vegas. 416 miles now, but let's see how it is.
Obey traffic laws. Be alert and use voice commands while driving.
Okay, so it's telling us to stop at a rest area and charge for 35 minutes. So we'll see how that goes. I think that's actually a 100 kilowatt charger. So not quite as fast as this, but we're going to be in the high heat. So I actually don't mind charging it a little bit slower or less power because that's probably better for the battery. And then another one, I believe that one is in Mesquite, just knowing where it's at on the map. Again, I hope Ford adds and tells us like which city these things are in. But one is on the border before Nevada, and then one's on the border before Utah. So let's go ahead and head out. It says 128 miles to our next stop. We're at 80% battery, and we have 214 miles of range. So
Hello from the desert. You can't quite tell how hot it is, but look at my arm. It's nuclear. By the way, like as we've been driving, I was talking to Lori on YouTube, and we're talking about getting the darkest tint available that we can possibly do. I think we need to do that because
legally or
legally.
Okay.
Legally, because just feeling that heat coming in from this front window. Ooh, how you doing?
Yeah, and still from the roof, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of heat radiating down to my head, but where I can see, like from the side window, anytime I get that sun, that feels quite a bit more.
Yeah.
But we are heading across now what's going to be the hottest couple of hours, but luckily it's early. It's 10:39 in the morning, so it's not quite as hot as it's going to be this afternoon, but it's already 100. The car says it's 104. They're expecting highs about 120 today. Not much that you can do really to prepare. We did pick up a gallon of water extra.
Just in case.
We also have lots of drinks as well, but at Walmart we just went ahead and picked up some extra fluids for ourselves. The car doesn't need any, and we are letting our family know that we're heading out across just because they want to know, and they're worried about it. The other thing is like looking at the charging. We charged up to 80%, so hopefully our next charging stop won't need to be quite as long when it's 120 degrees out. I'm going to notice we're about 47 miles since we left Walmart, but our efficiency is at 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour, and we are basically been doing 70 the whole time, which is the speed limit. Like I have it pegged right on 70. They were checking the car out.
Yeah, they were. They're like very slow for a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna slow down for a second, let this one car pass. But yeah, I was sort of surprised that it's at 4.1. I know it's just a short 47 miles so far, but interesting to know.
Yeah.
I know we must have come down a bit, I guess. I don't know, I haven't been paying attention.
And it is 109 degrees.
But
Almost 11 a.m. I think it's probably a good thing if you haven't been paying attention. You've just been enjoying the drive.
yeah, now we're a lot less traffic, easy freeway driving, using intelligent cruise control. It's just relaxing, and you forget how easy the miles just clip away. And in fact, like, of course, we got on the freeway, and I was like, "Why is everybody going so slow?" And I'm like, "No, we're doing 70. We're doing the speed limit, and it's just nice, comfortable, and quiet as usual." Mustang.
Hey.
There's
Oh my God, look at this Mach-E! There's another grabber blue! There's a Lucifer twin! Looky, 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 looky. Don't hit the poles out of excitement. Oh, yay! They're not there. We're gonna camp out and weird them out. Should we park right behind them?
Yeah, we're gonna go right behind.
Oh, yay! Hi, Lucifer's twin. Oh, cool! That's awesome!
Oh, charger unavailable. I'm gonna have to.
No! Is that them?
It could be.
We're being all like super excited and nerdy. Hi! Don't leave! Don't leave! Don't leave! Don't leave! We got so excited to see another car.
51%. This is only a 50 kilowatt charger. There's a 150 over there, but it's in use. We could go down to the charge point station or to EV Go, but we need a little bit of a break. So we're just gonna go do this, go to the bathroom, and this will give us time to get something to eat as well. But that's so cool. First Mach-E that we've seen at a charger, and it looks just like ours. So anyways, we're going to go take a break.
Oh wait,
Oh, I got to get the segment details.
his name is Captain.
Ah, Captain. Okay, let's get the segment details.
Yeah.
So that was 101 miles. Like I said, we stopped short. We stopped in Baker instead of going to the rest area. The rest area actually has a higher kilowatt charger, so that might have been a better stop, but we really need a break to go to the bathroom. So anyways, 101 miles, 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour, which seems really high considering everything, but I'm not going to argue with it right now. We plugged in at 131 miles of range. I think we're up to 133 miles of range now. And we'll go charge, go to the bathroom, and then we'll plan the next part.
Hey Teslas, it's a good spot. Wow. Woo. Hey Lucifer. Hey Captain. Chauffeur Captain America. Don't let them know we drive a Mach-E. No sudden move. Shh.
Oh, this is Edie.
Oh, yay!
Perfect time. That was a longer stop, but that was like perfect.
Yeah, we had time for lunch.
Yeah, we might as well hit stop. 40 minutes.
Wow, how was that 40 minutes?
Yeah,
Most of
well,
that was in line for sandwiches. That's true.
I'll go ahead and hit stop. So we went from 51 to 80. So
Louder.
we went from 51 to 80. It's a slow charger. We got only 27 kilowatt hours. Ooh, that's close.
Just as my phone was like, device too hot.
Yeah. It's like 110 outside apparently. Car says it's like 116.
I believe it.
I'm gonna get an AC.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. 27.
51, 80, run for it.
So first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and reset our trip. We have 209 miles of range. Let's go ahead and do some navigation. I'm hoping, let's see, if we have enough charge to get past Vegas now without needing to stop. Of course, I might need
Obey
another
traffic
break.
laws. Be alert and use voice commands while driving.
Cool. So now it's, I believe that's Mesquite, Nevada that we will stop at. And it says 35 minutes to get back to 63%. That should be on the other side of Vegas, other side of the hottest temps of the day. It says it's 110. So we're ready to head out. It's actually a little bit cloudy, which is, I think, helping with the temperatures. And it looks like 209 miles of range, 172 miles to our charging stop. I think I'm going to have to stop. That says 2.5 hours. Yeah, I'll probably have to stop. But at least I won't have to stop for a charge. We may be able to hit a rest area. So, what do you say?
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
111. If the world's largest thermometer says it, I believe it. It has happened. We have officially seen our first grabber blue in the wild, Captain. And the person driving Captain was Rob. I like that the first thing I asked him was, what's your car's name? I didn't even ask what his name was first.
Shame.
It's like with the people with pets, I'm like, what's your dog's name? Oh, and what's your name too? Anyways, that was super cool. Getting back to that station as well.
I think I got too excited because I plugged our car in and didn't get it seated properly because I wanted to go say hello.
And I just abandoned you.
So, yeah, then I went back and looked. I'm like, oh, it's like not plugged in properly. Oops. But it was a bit of a slower charge. It was a 50 kilowatt. There were a couple of 150s. There was a VW ID4 using one of them, but we sort of wanted to make that our lunch break. So it actually worked out really great. We went to the bathroom, which there was a line. We ordered food, which there was a line, and then we ate, and we came back right as it hit 80%.
It was perfect, yeah.
Yeah, and that gives us enough range to get past Vegas if we want to. We may need to stop again, but yeah, all good.
It's all good, man.
It says we have about a 30-mile buffer, but we got some climbing to do to get to Vegas. Slight climb in elevation, and we just passed a sign that said turn off your AC for the next 16 miles because of the temperature and the elevation change.
And we don't have to do that, do we?
We're not doing that.
No, we're not doing that. Yeah, like when we first got out of the car, I was all kind of cocky and like, it's fine, it's not that hot, it's okay. Then we went inside, we waited in line, no air conditioning, we had jalapenos, I have my hair down, and we ate hot sandwiches outside. So now I am boiling. But the car is very efficiently cooling. I'm very grateful that we have an EV and we can have AC
I'm
going
really
on.
impressed. And I like there's a Volt, a Tesla,
Oh, yeah.
and a bus. There's a lot of EVs around here.
That
or
is
partial
really cool.
EVs at least.
And that's an interesting Volt color. It's Volt color. It's sage. I think.
Sage.
Yeah, sage. Volt is the hybrid, right? Volt
Yeah.
is the EV.
And it's like a combo. It can run it can run part of the way just on the electric, but not out on the freeway like this.
And we saw an all-electric truck.
Yeah, did you get video of that?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was making weird noises, so of course I got video of it.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
I thought it was like a semi that was like icing the Electrify America like as a protest or something.
And then we both noticed
I'm
like,
wait a
all
second, it's
electric.
charging.
Yeah, and it said all electric on
Oh, it
it.
said all electric. Yeah.
But I didn't notice that part first. Okay, anyways. Ooh, there's a lot of traffic out here all of a sudden. Interesting.
Yeah.
We will see you guys hopefully when it is cooler than 112 degrees, which it is right now. Ooh, 111. Yay!
So we started out with, I think, about a 33-mile buffer, and it's already dropped down to like a 9-mile buffer We're only getting 1.4 miles per kilowatt hour, but that was at basically 110, 111 degrees, and we just hit 4,000 feet. We saw a couple of cars broken down on the side of the road that overheated, and now we're starting to go downhill a bit, but you can see we got a little bit more uphill. But I expect the buffer to grow, but there are at least 4 charging stops that we could stop at if we think it's going to be an issue. So our buffer dropped to 5 miles, and the car popped up and said, do we want to add charging stops? And it looks like it's going to have a stop in South Las Vegas, and then the next one will be in George, I believe, in Utah, and then we're done. So here we'll probably charge a bit extra again, depending on if we have to go to the bathroom and whatnot. Well, that's our next stop, only 15 more miles. We're having our efficiency down as low as 1.4 miles per kilowatt hour as we're climbing. It's climbed back up to 2.4, but it's still extremely low. But we've been doing 70, 72 miles an hour, quite a bit for climate use, but it's a pretty hot day. And so I just added this down here, power flow in kilowatts. Negative numbers means the regen is working, and then I'll accelerate, and you'll see how it changes. And then now I'm going to let it coast and then go into regen potentially. But that's what we want to see on the Ford Sync screen, not on our phones, but pretty cool.
Welcome to Nevada! I don't know how we could possibly tell that we were in Nevada. Can't imagine how. Crazy.
Okay, we finished with 109 miles of range, 45% battery. I think it said only charged 58% to get us to our next charging stop, but we'll play it by ear and see how it goes. It's so hot. It's 118.
Welcome, driver.
You can hear the fans ramping up on the car. So Liv is inside the outlet malls that we're at, but just noticing it says high voltage battery temp is 104. It's currently getting 78.4, so whatever kilowatts from the charger, 79.5. External temperature 141. We're sitting on like black pavement, and it is 118 outside. So that's probably just like the heat radiating up. We are at 60% battery. Might go ahead and go all the way up to 80% just because we're going to take another break, and we got a charger that's giving us good speed. It says right now we would need like one more charging stop in Mesquite to get to Beaver. The other thing, once again, the glass roof. Boy, it's dirty. The glass roof is hot if you touch it. Very hot, actually. But like I don't feel the top of my head like just boiling in the sun. And again, 118 outside. Sitting in the car with the accessories on, and I feel warm over from this side, but not from the roof. And it's overall like pretty nice inside temperature wise. Last trip segment, we did just 84 miles, and 2.6 miles per kilowatt hour. It dropped as low as 1.4, and then we've been doing better since then. But this is one of our lower segments on this entire trip. Elevation and heat, I think, are an issue. You see that 9% climate use. Some people recommended, keeping it like 74, 76 degrees, even 78 degrees as we were coming across the desert. We kept it at 69, so we like it usually at 68, but I deviated by 1 degree.
Well, we're about to hit 80%. I don't know if you can see that, but we're at 79. We spent $6.82, and Patrick has all the stats up here.
Yeah, it's flowing slightly off, but I think these numbers cycle through and get updated. But yeah, it just hit 80, and you can see the power is dropping 16 kilowatts. But we're at 80%. We're going to go ahead and program our route again and see what it says. Beaver, Utah, still 230 miles to go today. EV chargers being added. 1 20-minute stop, and I believe that's in, just looking at the map, where's it at? That looks like George, Utah. So we are good to go. 197 miles of range. We don't want to sit here and let this one go because it's slow after 80. But 197 miles of range, we're ready to go. I'm going to go run out there quickly because it's feeling pretty miserable now.
And I'm staying here.
Yeah.
I like how Patrick was like, it's boiling outside, I'm melting. It's 118 degrees. And then he makes friends with the person next to us, which is really sweet, but had a little extra chat and melted some more.
Yeah.
Worth it though.
Yeah, very nice. They just got theirs.
Oh,
They're very
cool.
happy.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I want to get some airflow on the car. Meow. Look at our previous videos.
Santa Fe and Vegas. Welcome to Arizona! Yay! Burr, 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 burr. I forgot about our sound effects. Utah! Welcome to Utah! Burr, 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 burr.
So I thought we lost this because we got out of the car too fast, but this was the last segment. We had 2.6 miles per kilowatt hour and we drove 128 miles. We've been charging for a little bit right now. It's still charging pretty fast, I believe. So here we go. It's still pulling, that was just updated, around 100 kilowatts. So that's actually pretty good. Battery is supposedly at 109.4 degrees, if that's accurate. Again, I got to sort of double check these and see if that's all good. We have about 100 miles of range now. We're up to 41%. It seems like it's going slow, but I just checked and we're still getting like 89 to 90 kilowatts, even though we're now at 70% charge and it's 119 degrees. But we have way more than what we need to get to the hotel. And there's a charger, Electrify America charger right outside our hotel. I think the hotel's like 120 miles away. So we could unplug now. I want to give it a couple more minutes and then we'll head on our way. But we may pick up some food. Liv's hiding. It's so hot. So I was gonna let it go to 80, but it's just too hot. 47 kilowatt hours. Let's hit stop. We're up at 76%. That's close enough, right? It was still delivering like 80 some. Let's unplug. This is the tricky part. This gets really hot. Not too bad. The one in Vegas was hotter. So we charged for 29 minutes. We went from 26 to 76%. I know you can't really see this, so maybe I'll just talk and pop the numbers that you can read. We should be ready with no more stops. Yep. We'll arrive at 7:31. It's exactly 100 miles away.
Woo!
And we're starting this trip. I need to reset. All right.
Let's go.
This was the worst segment, I think. 1.9 miles per kilowatt hour, 100 miles. It was, the speed limit was 80 the entire way, so I guess that was it. I don't know. Don't really care. Tired. This is our stop. We are at 19%, and here's the charging station. And then after this, we got to go to our hotel, which is literally that building right there.
That was super not dramatic, but it is that building.
We try to make it dramatic. Like the reason I picked this hotel is I knew this charger was here. So it's very cool. I can plug in, start charging, unload all of our bags and all that stuff. We may even eat, and then I can come back down and the car will be charged. And because it's like just right here, I may charge a little bit in the morning to get up to 100%. I don't like leaving it at 100% for hours and hours, but in the morning, like while we're eating breakfast, I could get that like last 5-10% because it will be slow. So let's go plug in and then go check in. 72. Should go higher than that, right? There we go. 144.
Okay, we have finally made it, and as we said, here's the charger. This is way more dramatic this time. There's the hotel right there. That worked, right?
Yeah, that worked.
Now you know, super convenient. This is awesome.
And in here, that's our dinner that we bought at the last stop. So we're starving, but it kept it at a nice, probably 100 and some degrees. So
Yay!
Should be good to go. We're gonna go check in and unload a little bit. So we just checked in. This day's in. It's a bit older. Furniture's a little bit rough, but again, look at that. There's the charger right there, and there's actually plenty of parking. So when I'm done, I can just move it. But I'm gonna let it charge. Actually, like I can actually see the screen from here.
No way.
Yeah. It's a little bit hard for you guys to see, but I can also monitor it on the Ford Pass app, and it'll let me know when it hits 80, and it'll let me know when it hits 100. So I'll let it hit 80, and then let it go a little bit further, unplug, and then we'll plug in again in the morning when we have breakfast. So anyways, that's it. Oh, by the way, it's only like 93 out right now. Compared to the 119 earlier, it feels so much better. So much better at 93.
This is great. I mean, this wouldn't be a super fancy hotel normally or anything, or super desirable, but it's totally fine. And this location, speaking of which, we put dinner in the front to keep it warm. Since we were driving through 120 degrees, why not? I'm willing to bet it's nice and warm.
There's a shop across the street. If we
Good.
want a Sprite or something.
I want to go get a mug.
Oh yeah.
We have to go get some beverages to go with dinner. And I'm on the hunt for a mug. I got a really funny mug from Beaver one time. So, Eagles Landing. Oh my gosh, Beaver mug! But there's so many options. What to do? We could go kind of preppy looking, giant. What? Which one? Which one? Which would you pick? I think that one. That one.
Please wait.
That was a very good photo bomb. I'm totally filming you. Yeah, I'm so happy to have this again. I'm gonna have to go watch what you did. Good job.
All right.
Thanks.
It feels so much nicer.
Yeah, super pleasant. Hey, pony.
So we're gonna unplug at 93%, and we got plenty of charging stations in the next stretch. But in the morning, I might go ahead and plug in again. But we don't want to wait because if you wait too long, you get like a grace period once you hit 100%, and then you get charged extra. So we hit stop.
Wait
So
for
we got
it.
71 kilowatt hours, and we're gonna hit finish. Move the car.
Okay. Yay! I think it's so cool that you have chargers right here. She's talking about getting an electric car. So super cool. Thank you. We just hit 100. Woo!
So here's what we got packed, and everything fits great for our 2 weeks away from home. But we have lots of clothes. We have a drum. We have extra water. Yeah, and 4 laptops. Don't ask. Lots of work stuff. But anyways.
And now we've already reached 100. And we have 5 minutes to move the car. So let's move it and get breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah. Good morning from here in Beaver, Utah. We just grabbed some coffee for breakfast, a banana. Someone might have a chocolate breakfast
bread
cake thingy. I think we're ready to hit the road and make our way back to Denver, right?
This is not the greatest hotel, but great location. There's like a Flying J across the street with some great coffee. The chargers are right there. We got up to 100% and had to actually unplug. I didn't think it would actually get up there. But anyways, we're ready to go.
And when he says it's not the greatest hotel, it's just not the fanciest.
Yeah, it's
a
not
perfectly fine hotel. Kind of old, not fancy, but it's got chargers.
Yeah. We have 100% charge, so that'll help at least for the first leg or so. We have 540 miles or so to go today. We did 540 yesterday. It was sort of like, we got to do that all over again. But hopefully we won't have any 120 degree temperatures. I think in Grand Junction it might be 107, which is still hot. But no, Green River is going to be 107. And the charging station there is on the side of a building and hot and
That coffee shop.
yeah, so we might just sit in the car. But anyways, let's plan out our trip.
Yeah.
Okay, it dropped us to 99% because I moved the car. But anyways, 252 miles of range. I'm going to remember, let's reset this one. I think it's 3 times the charm, right?
Uh-huh.
There we
Hey.
go. So we'll get started in a second, but let's go to navigation.
Obey traffic laws. Be alert and use voice commands while driving.
So this is saying we can make it all the way to Green River on our first go.
which is actually pretty cool. There's a couple of chargers in here I thought we would have to stop at in our original plan, but because we got up to 100%, we can go all the way to Green River. And then the next one, I believe, is Grand Junction. And then Electrify America, Natural Grocers. Where is that? That might be, I'm not sure where that one is at. So yeah, let's, it's like charging really close to home in this last one, but we'll see. We're going to go to Green River and then we'll readjust and see what it says after we charge there, because we tend to go higher than what it recommends. It recommends going to 47%. We'll probably go higher and then see what it says. So let's hit the road.
Hello, Green River. Hooray, we're here.
Finished with 73 miles of range, 30% battery. Let's check out our segment. 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour, 180 miles of driving. Way less climate use when it was like 73 to 80 for most of it. Now that we're in Green River, of course, it's 91. It'll be warm outside, but let's charge. I think it said charge to 47%. If we can get coffee, we'll probably charge higher.
Yeah, let's go. Yay! How cute is this place? Well, this is the cutest coffee shop ever. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
When they have good coffee, you go above 80%. We went to 83.
Wow.
We hit stop. We were in there for 42 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could have stayed longer.
Whoops.
That's how that happens.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Oh, wait.
Wait, no. 51 kilowatt hours. All right, that's good. And we went from 30 to 83. So we're going to reset this. Oh, it worked on the first try that time.
You just didn't believe it.
So we went to 83%, 211 miles. Let's do our trip planning. Navigation. Denver, Colorado. Go. Whoa. One charging stop now.
Woo!
I don't know if I believe that. We'd have like 24 miles of buffer. That's not a lot. Okay, anyways, let's go. We'll figure it out on the way.
Yay! And there's the river. Also, there. Oh yeah, we stayed there, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. That was very nice.
Years ago.
The River Terrace Inn? Something. Well, we just left Green River, and I am so thrilled that we were able to go to the Green River Coffee Company. I have their card, actually. That place is such a gem. Like, if that was in Denver, I feel like we would be going there often. Like,
I thought the same thing when we were in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this would be, let's go to Green River Coffee over on Broadway.
yeah, like it's got so much character and charm and so much inclusivity. There are there's so much stuff there that makes you feel very welcome, no matter your interests and your passions. You can tell that the place is loved. And Amy, the owner, I was listening to her, overhearing her talk to someone. She's been there for 19 years, from what I understand, and it seems like every moment that she's been there has been filled with love and like customizing the area. Even the bathroom, the floor is painted with messages. Like, it's not just her, I think. Like, other people have loved the space, and it's an absolute gem, an absolute treasure. I'm so glad we got to go in there. However, as I was overhearing her, Amy, talk to someone, they're gonna have to shut down soon because there's just not enough people in the area to work. There's not enough housing. But this place that she has, this absolute gem, is up for sale, and I could only envision that there's so many cool people who this would be absolutely perfect for. Welcome to colorful Colorado! Beep, 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 beep.
He's going really slow, but I wanted to get that.
So this segment, we finished at 2.6 miles per kilowatt hour, 182 miles. We've been jamming for 2.5 hours. And I was worried because it said we would finish with 14 miles of range, I think, when we started out. But we actually finished with 16. Whoops, I shouldn't have did that. We finished with 16 miles of range, 6% battery. This is like our lowest thing coming in. There were at least 3 different charging options along the way, so I wasn't too worried if we were running short. But we made it with 6%, and now we're going to charge and hope that we get some really good speeds.
What are we at?
152.
Woo! Awesome! Yay! Okay, let's go to Target.
Yeah, let's go to Target.
Yoink.
Wow, we spent an hour there. I know. Anyways, got 71 kilowatt hours, went from 6% up to 82%. We shopped, we went to the bathroom and got something to eat. And we actually sat over here and got something to eat and sat there to eat it. And of course, Liv always has a coffee.
Yay. Okay, let's go.
We're gonna do right by our house, but not our house because it sucks to have to blur out our address. Moru Coffee. We have a lot of
traffic laws. Be alert and use voice commands while driving.
So we have a lot of traffic. It says we'll arrive home with 14%. Even if we arrive home with like very little, that'll be fine. But we may stop again because I don't like sitting in traffic. If you're not familiar with Colorado, whether it's ski season or not ski season, coming back from the mountains on a Sunday afternoon, it can be a bit rough, and it's a Sunday. So we will see how traffic is as we get closer to that. But right now, it looks like about 3.5 hours to get home. Normally from here, probably just about 3 hours even. So 30 minutes of traffic. And by the way, it says we'll have 40 miles buffer right now. So let's see how that holds up. So 2 weeks ago, when we came through Glenwood Canyon, about 3 or 4 hours later, they closed this whole section of freeway for a few hours. Google thought I was talking to it. But anyways, they closed this section of freeway due to mudslides. And since that time, they've closed it an additional 3 times, I believe, maybe 4 times. And they are still worried about mudslides. If you can see up on the hill, there was a fire here last August, I believe it was in August. And because of that, this area is very susceptible to mudslides, even when there's not a lot of rain. And they said that's going to continue for 1 to 2 years until some vegetation can take hold.
So we were worried that we would not be able to come back this way, and we'd have to go through the rural roads going through Colorado, which is possible using CCS charging, or go around completely and use I-40 and I-25 going via Albuquerque. But it's been dry the past few days, so we're making it through here. It was really crazy. I'll put a link to like a video. There's some whitewater raptors in the river that caught one of the mudslides as it happened.
No way.
Yeah, it was really crazy. Just how much water and mud was coming down. And at one point they were saying there were spots that were like 3 or 4 feet deep with mud. And they did a great job of like removing it like overnight. Oh, look, whitewater raptors.
Amazing. Hopefully we got that on the other camera.
So anyways, we're thankful that we're able to get through here. CDOT, Colorado Department of Transportation, has been doing a great job of keeping the road open. And one of the things that they're doing is they are keeping an eye on everything. If there's any threat of storms, they are staging their equipment at the rest areas so they can respond quickly. And they're doing preemptive closures as well. Like if they see rain actually moving through the area, they'll just go ahead and close this stretch. But we're making it through, knock on wood. But the skies are sunny, it's hot, it's 92. Should have no issues, but very, very interesting, and interesting in that it's a complex thing to keep a road like this open.
Yeah. And it was really trippy because on the way to San Diego to Las Vegas, in our previous video you may have seen, we arrived in Cedar City and saw a bunch of people that we know on Facebook just commenting that they'd been rerouted, they didn't know what was going on, and they had like 4 hours added to their journey, and we just skated by without seeing any of that. Although we did get some downpour, but we missed the mud part of it.
Yeah, we got some of the rain and showers east of this canyon. I didn't think much of it other than it was a bit difficult to drive through with all the traffic and the splashing water, but didn't think about how it would affect this area.
Yeah, and it's not something we've had in recent years in Colorado as much, but pretty much previously every afternoon in the summer, torrential downpour. So if you're visiting Colorado in the summer, expect that. It won't last super long, but it'll be pretty torrential downpour, and then
it's clear
that's
again.
it. Yeah.
But now we are having an issue every year, and we're worried about it again this year with a very bad fire season.
Yeah.
And the fires are in the mountains, very hard to combat. Rocky Mountain National Park had a lot of damage last year, and this canyon was another one that had suffered a lot of issues. Hanging Lake, which is famous, it completely surrounded the area and went over Hanging Lake area, but Hanging Lake survived, so that's one bright spot in all of this. And speaking of Hanging Lake, here's the sign to Hanging Lake.
We've actually never been there. It's so popular, and it's also from what I hear, overpopulated, and some of the visitors have sort of disrupted the ecosystem there. So I haven't really necessarily thought of going, but if you guys would be interested in seeing Hanging Lake, I've heard it's phenomenally beautiful.
Yeah, we have to get reservations now, so
that's
we'll have to plan ahead and do that.
Yeah, and make sure that we respect the ecology.
Yeah.
So we're almost home, sort of.
Sort of. We still got a couple of hours, but it feels close after doing nearly like 900 miles the past 2 days.
Yeah, it's kind of trippy.
And of course, 2 weeks ago we had 1,000 miles the other direction. So we're close to the end of 2,000 miles, 2,100 miles of traveling.
I think it's been pretty awesome. Every so often I remember that we're in the Mach-E and just realize how comfortable it is, because it is comfortable and you don't really think about it, you know?
Just adjusted my lumbar.
Did you? But yeah, we've had incredibly hot weather, and it's felt like an oasis to be in the car. it's just felt really great and really comfortable and awesome.
Yeah, this is a good road trip car. You do have to plan out your charging stops and know how to be prepared with backups in some cases. Charging this trip has been identical to like the experience that you would get if you had a Tesla. When they talk about you plug it in and start charging, you walk away. Granted, it takes a few more seconds for the charging to actually start, but this trip, like, you know, on the way back, plug it in, charge, and then the Ford Pass app is great. It lets me know like you're going to hit 80% at X time. So we were walking around Target and I was like, oh, it looks like we have about 15 more minutes to go. And it also tells me how long it'll take if I wanted to go all the way to 100%. But my goal was hit 80% and then go outside and unplug.
And that was really nice because he just walked up and was like, we're going to hit 80 in 15 minutes. All right, I'm going to go check out and run to the restroom.
And it's actually slightly pessimistic because it was like, we're going to hit 80 in 15 minutes. And then we were checking out and I'm like, oh,
we made it.
Yeah, we just hit it, or it was like 79%. So I'm like, we got to go. But it's been great. Car's been great, as it has been in the past. Intelligent cruise control makes it super simple, and used it in a huge proportion of this trip, mostly because very little city driving. It was what you're seeing here.
And we're going through Vail right now.
Yeah, we're going through Vail. We're climbing up over a 10,000 foot pass, and then we're going down into Frisco, and then we get another 10,000 foot pass, and that's where the traffic usually starts. So we got to go check traffic in a second. Well, up here it says heavy traffic to Denver, but I click on here, and this is what I was sort of wondering is like if I say traffic and alerts, no delay in 6 miles. Total 28-minute delay. So we got slow traffic, queuing traffic, hazard in 10 miles. This might be a little bit rough, but I don't know if stopping will actually help us. But anyways, I wanted to show that feature of the sync navigation, that you can get traffic not just by looking at and seeing if it's like red on the map, but it'll tell you what's coming up. So the car decided to reroute us, and I just verified with Google. It's doing the same thing. Apparently I-70 is heavy traffic, so it wants us to take sort of like a side road, and I've never done this before, so I'm trusting the fact that the car and Google both want us to take an alternate route.
And those people ahead of us seem to know the same thing too.
Yeah, I think people that are using navigation, it's telling them to do that. So hopefully it saves us some time.
Yeah.
There's somebody behind us. Looks like they're doing the same thing. We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Can see the traffic over there.
And you can see on the map, we're passing this slowdown.
Yeah.
It's just a bit curvier.
Oh.
It knows I just wanted some more Mustang driving before.
Awesome! Georgetown Loop Railroad. It's the Silver Queen.
Now hiring.
Ooh, let's go work there. Back into traffic. More rerouting.
Well, we're basically back in Denver. We're actually in Lakewood, and we're taking a slight detour to pick up some food so we don't have to cook as soon as we get home, because it's about 5:30 and about time to eat. But just want to note that we have a 73-mile buffer now. So I was, just keeping an eye on it in case it went down. I think we started at a 40-mile or 30-mile buffer. I think it was 40-mile buffer. But it's up to 73 now. Here. What you got?
Tokyo Joe's. I'm not actually sure what we got. Thai noodle bowl.
Thai noodle bowl.
So that's it. That's our wrap, as they say
done.
in the showbiz business, right? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video plus our previous couple of videos on our EV trip. We don't have anything particularly scheduled as far as a road trip, but if you have any suggestions, of course, we would love to go like to the East Coast or whatever. But right now, with work and everything, we can probably only do like a quick weekend trip. So maybe like, I don't know, what's eight hours from, or 10
Moab.
hours? Yeah, Moab. Oh, Moab.
I want to go bike in Moab personally. So if you want us to go bike in Moab, then vote down below.
So there's Moru Coffee. We arrived with 82 miles of range, 33% battery left. This is what we consider home, so that we don't have our home address type thing. But here's our final stats for trip 2, 164.1 miles, 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour. So from Glenwood Springs charging stations, even stopping at Tokyo Joe's to here, we got 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour, which is fantastic. Part of that was the stop and go traffic. 2 weeks and 1 day ago, we set trip 1, and we are finishing at 2,419.2 miles, 3.0 miles per kilowatt hour, which I think is pretty decent for as much freeway driving, 80 miles an hour, 75 miles per hour speed limits. Pretty awesome. That's it for stats. We'll try to compile all of this, and I will pop up like how much it costs compared to an ICE vehicle. I know on the way there, I believe it was like a $20 savings. So I'm going to pop all of that up right now, and we'll see. I know it's going to come out cheaper, and that's based off of doing 31 cents per kilowatt hour and not including the free charging that we got at the hotels. But if I pay 31 cents per kilowatt hour, because that's what most people are going to be paying, and whatever the average gas price is with my old car, which got about 28 miles per gallon. So that's where these numbers are coming from that I'm using here. But as you can see, I don't know how much, but I'm going to make the assumption that it was cheaper to go in our EV.
Anyways, I think we should get home, say hi to the dog who's probably forgotten what we look like since he hasn't seen us in 2 weeks and only saw us for about a year, and maybe get some sleep. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, food, sleep, dog, sleep.
Recharge us, recharge the car, wherever you are. I hope you're charged too. Nope.
Give us another couple of years, we'll get a sign-off
what do we
thing.
say?
I don't know. Let's just say, see you later, alligator. I don't know.
In a while, crocodile.
Bye.